Aloha everyone! Today I'm going to take you to the Pyramids of Giza complex. Before I take you there, let me give you a quick lowdown on the situation. So my wife and I were going to visit my cousin who's been living in Egypt for 2 years. And while we're there, she hooked us up with a tour company who's going to give us a tour around the whole complex. Well, you ready to see some pyramids? Let's go! As you approach the ancient rural cemetery known as the Giza Pyramid Complex, you will start to see the pyramids towering over the city. Even though they are 4,000 years old, they are still one of the tallest buildings in the city, and they can be seen for miles. Before you enter the complex, you will pass the $1 billion Grand Egyptian Museum. Once complete, it will be one of the greatest museums in the world, and it will feature the complete collection of King Tut. Once you start seeing tourists and the tour buses, you know you're getting close to the entrance. As you approach the ticket counter, you need to make a decision. Do you also want to walk through a pyramid? Heck yes, I do. I want to walk through the biggest one. My tour guide Shadi, who likes to refer to himself as Slim Shady, told me that they're not that exciting and they don't contain hieroglyphics. But I don't care. I'm going anyway. My tickets to walk through the pyramids cost 300 Egyptian pounds or $16.75. We got our tickets. Now let's explore the pyramids. As we walk up to the pyramids, I have to pinch myself that I'm finally here. The pyramids are near the top of everyone's bucket list, and I couldn't help but think about all the famous people who have explored the site before me, such as Julius Caesar, Napoleon, and Paris Hilton. What? Paris Hilton's famous? Back to the show. Before we get any closer to the pyramids, Shadi is going to give us a brief overview of the complex. The largest and oldest pyramid is behind Shadi's head, which is the only remaining of the ancient world wonders. The king at the time wanted to make a tomb that was everlasting. I think he got his wish. It took 23 years to finish and has 2.2 million blocks. The blocks weigh between 2 to 20 tons. The second pyramid is the only pyramid that still has its outer casing left. If you want to listen to Shadi's full tour, I will leave a link in the description, as well as a link to the tour company I used as well. Now let's walk through our pyramid. We're heading to the Great Pyramid. The public entrance is not an original entrance. It was an entrance that an archaeologist created a long time ago. Unfortunately, I can't take you guys with me through the pyramid, since they don't allow photography inside. I could have easily broke the rules and filmed the pyramid, but I have a fear of being arrested overseas. So far, I haven't taken part of any international incidents, and I like to keep it that way. As we walked up to the pyramids, Shadi gave me some very good travel tips. While at the pyramids, you have to be aware of several aggressive sales tactics, such as someone placing an object in your hand, and then they would expect you to pay for it. The other one you need to be aware of, if you want to ride a camel, they might offer you a dirt cheap price to ride the camel, but then they will charge you a much steeper price to get off the camel. For those reasons, I highly recommend a tour guide. Shadi protected me from aggressive scammers, and he already arranged a camel ride for me that was already included in the tour price. Alright, I just got done with the Great Pyramid. It was steep, hot, and exhausting, but absolutely worth it. So you start out walking through the entrance, and then you go up a very steep incline that's so steep I had to go down it backwards on the way down. Then after that, to make things even more difficult for you, the pathway is only about 4 feet tall. And once you go through all that, you end up at a stairwell that takes you to the tomb. After exploring the pyramids, I was exhausted. I'm jet lagged.
You alright?
No, I'm not okay.
I'm a little hot.
I feel like I just walked through an Egyptian obstacle course, and was happy to see my cousin was getting some photos with the locals, which allowed me a chance to catch my breath and gain my composure. Next up, we have a 10-minute walk to meet up with our driver. I would like to say it was a relaxing 10 minutes, but at the pyramids, nothing is relaxing. Here's a quick soundbite of how it sounds like walking around the pyramids. Just a few minute drive from the Great Pyramid is the iconic panorama view location. This is one of the best photo opportunities in the whole complex. This is where you can see all the 3 pyramids. This is where you take your coin on the pyramid picture, your back towards the camera picture, or if you're hungry, you can take your eating the pyramid picture. After eating a pyramid for lunch, it's that time of day. Hump day, yeah. Let's ride a camel next to the pyramids. As a warning, I want to let you know that I'm clearly a trained professional, so you certainly want to seek professional guidance before attempting the near-death experience of riding a camel. The riding the camel part isn't too bad, it's the getting up and the getting down part that is terrifying. Alright, we made it safely on our camels. Let's go on this epic adventure. While on this epic adventure, I learned the names of our camels. Michael Jackson, Yankee Doodle, and my camel was Bob Marley. Now, while riding my camel, I was very fortunate to have such a clear day. Sometimes the sand gets in the air and it's not so clear. Now it's time to get off my camel, Bob Marley, and head to our final stop, the Great Sphinx. But first, let's watch my show-off wife land her camel. She makes it look so easy. I must admit, I'm a little jealous. Anyways, off to the Great Sphinx. The Sphinx is only a short 5-minute drive away. As I walk towards the Sphinx complex, you can see to the right are chairs for the night show. They have a night show daily here. The first show is always in English, and the second show would either be in German, Spanish, or Italian. Before we make it to the Great Sphinx, we'll pass through the Valley Temple. It's made from pink granite, which came from 425 miles away in Aswan. The ancient Egyptians would transport the granite by the river Nile, which is far away now, but it was much closer 4,000 years ago during the construction of the temple. It's absolutely amazing how these structures can be built without machinery. Now let's take a look at our final stop. But first I have to fight through the crowds. I visited the Sphinx on a Friday, which is the busiest day of the week to visit. I ended up opening the complex the next day on a Saturday, and I had the whole Sphinx to myself. Now let's take a look at the Sphinx. The Sphinx isn't built like the pyramids. It's one large piece of rock. It is believed the Sphinx was originally a large boulder that the Egyptians decided to turn into a Sphinx. The other interesting fact is the face of the Sphinx is of Khafra, who was buried in the second largest pyramid. There you have it, the Great Pyramids, the Great Sphinx, and the Great Shadi. Thank you so much for watching. Go to the pyramids and have a freaking awesome vacation.